like with quarterbacks, it's not just winning. Rex Grossman got to a Super Bowl. Mitch Trubisky won 58% of his games, got to 2 playoffs. The franchise moved on. It's more than that. It's health, it's cost, it's leadership, it's dependability. There's a lot of different things. Eli Manning did not win a lot in the regular season, but his maturity, he was good in the 2-minute drills. He never missed a start. There's a lot that goes in coaching, though. It usually is you win, you stay. You don't fire a lot of guys with winning records. But with Philadelphia, it's weird because it feels like the roster's winning and we're not sure about the coach. And Philadelphia has a history. They'll move off the coach. Chip Kelly had a winning record. See ya. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl win. Out the door. So the Nick Sirianni thing feels urgent. This is a franchise that's moved off winning coaches. And here's Chris Long on wanting Nick Sirianni to just take more ownership.
I like Nick. I think Nick has done a good job. No, really, I do. It's just right now he's kind of under a microscope because of the decisions he's making. Yeah. He's not even calling the game. Yeah. So that's my thing. It's like you got to own the feeling of the flow of the game. And to me, I said on my pod, I would give him a mirror. Look in it. This is not the same team, certainly not yesterday, that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, where you're going to score 40 points a game. You have to sometimes lay up. And when you got Saquon Barkley, you got to give him the damn ball. You saw what happened yesterday. Any 3-yard gain could turn to 70.
And now A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith did not practice yesterday. I don't want to hear excuses. Sean McVay just beat the Niners with an intramural wide receiver group. A rookie from Texas, a bounce around the league guy. Best play was by a 5'9" guy, and they beat the Niners. I mean, it was, oh, by the way, musical chairs on the interior O-line and beat the Niners. They beat them with special teams, good last drive. So I think it's a fair criticism. I'm not anti-Sirianni, but it does feel like the GM and the roster are winning, and we're not sure about the coach. And with coaches, usually W's prevail, except in Philadelphia. Philadelphia moves off winning coaches. Like Pittsburgh never moves off any coach, and Philadelphia moves off coaches that win Super Bowls and get to conference championships. 5 times, Andy Reid, they moved off him. With that, 45 years, NFL films. You play fantasy, you want to get smarter, it's Greg Cosell. So let's start with the biggest star in the league, Mahomes. Travis Kelce's disappeared. Yep. Mahomes off to a slow start. I'll defend them a little on this. They got a rookie receiver they're working in. They're also trying to establish Rashee Rice as a number 1. Travis Kelce doesn't look like he's in the best shape he's ever been in. He's playing himself kind of into being great. So I'm giving Mahomes a little bit of a pass. What does the film say, however, on his kind of rocky start?
Well, I think there's a couple of factors here. Number one, the film tells you that they're making a bit of a transition away from Kelce in terms of targets to Rice. Rice leads the NFL in targets. He's now become their motion receiver. They move him all around the formation. He works the middle of the field, which is where Kelce predominantly works, but he can also work outside the numbers. He leads the NFL in yards after catch as well, so he's very good with the ball in his hands. So the film tells you through 3 games, not a large enough sample to make a definitive statement, Colin, about the entire season, but through 3 games, Rice has really become kind of the key to their pass game. Right. The other factor that is clearly noticeable on film, right now through 3 games, they do not really have a vertical passing game, an intermediate to vertical passing game. Everything is short. And that's something that needs to develop. They haven't really deployed Worthy yet that way. Obviously, he caught the touchdown week 1, which was a bust by the defense, but they really haven't developed an intermediate to vertical passing game with any kind of consistency. And that's something that I think we'll expect to see going forward.
Okay, let's talk about tonight. The Giants and the Cowboys. So let's start from the Giants. I watched every snap. First, Neighbors is becoming a star in front of our eyes. But I think we've always liked their defensive front. They're a bit banged up on the back end. But was it Cleveland or is the Giants' defense, because that's their only shot tonight, is to keep Dallas in tow. They're not going to win a shootout. That's not who they are. Right. They're going to roll over coverage and double Neighbors. So what is their defense doing? Does their defense give them a shot in games like this?
Well, their defense through 3 games has been one of the highest percentage blitz defenses in the league, meaning 5 rushers or more. And they've been very, very good at it. Not only are they good tactically with it, and it's Shane Bowen is the new D coordinator. He was in Tennessee prior. He had some very good concepts, pressure concepts, but they also have good people. When you think about the fact that they have Brian Burns, they have Thibodeau, they have Dexter Lawrence, who's a man in the middle of that defense. They have Okereke, who's a very good linebacker. So they've got good players in addition to a really difficult scheme to play against, and they're very, very good attacking the quarterback with pressure. And you will see that tonight against a Cowboys offensive line that is really kind of a work in progress. They're playing the rookie left tackle Guyton, who only played 14 games as a starter at Oklahoma, and he was a right tackle there. So he's kind of working through the process. That will take some time. So I would expect to see pressure. I would expect to see stunts. I would expect to see multiple fronts. The Giants need their defense to be the major factor in tonight's game.
Can Dak win without a strong run game?
Not consistently, and I like Dak a lot, and I think we've talked about this over the last couple of years, Colin. He's settled into essentially being a very efficient pocket player. He's a ball distributor, and he's good at it. But I think that they definitely need some semblance of a running game, and right now they don't have anything, and that's a problem. They're going to need to be able to run the football. Look, the league, 3 weeks, but the league has kind of changed a little bit, as you know. Run games have come back a bit. Passing yards are down. There's less passing. There's more running. We could probably spend an hour talking about the reasons for that, but that's just the reality right now. And if you do not have any semblance of a running game, it's too hard.
Yeah. Let's talk young quarterbacks. I want to talk about 2 that we haven't talked a ton about. So Jaden Daniels, first of all, from Arizona State to LSU, his accuracy improved dramatically. Brian Kelly gets credit, so does Jaden Daniels. We always knew he could move. We always said there's a bit of a Lamar Jackson thing here. The kid can move. We know that. But I got to tell you, no turnovers, accuracy. Yep. Now, some of it is Jaden, obviously. Some is it helps for rookie quarterbacks. Cliff Kingsbury has had this sort of athlete before. But what are you seeing on film? Is it sustainable? Is it a little fluky? What are you seeing about this young kid?
Well, I really liked him coming out of LSU. And even though he's a great runner with great accelerating speed, he doesn't really leave the pocket unless it's absolutely necessary. But I think with young quarterbacks, I think that's where your offensive coordinator really becomes the key person, because you've got to now create opportunities for him to make primary read throws, either no read throws, one read throws. Allow him to get comfortable. You do not want to ask him to make difficult throws early in his career. Now, you're going to have to at times. We're looking at the winning touchdown, which was the 3rd example of zero coverage in the 4th quarter, and he did a great job right there, obviously. And he did make a great throw on a 55-yard bomb earlier in the game to McLaurin. But when you watch their tape, you see a lot of quick rhythm throws. As I said, they're almost no read throws or one read throws. You get your quarterback comfortable. You help him settle into a game. And Daniels, by nature, is very poised and composed to begin with. So I think that with young quarterbacks, to me, the offensive coordinator is the absolutely key person on your staff.
Okay, so Sean Payton, Bo Nix. I had an NFL quarterback say, don't be surprised by the end of year 1, the one kid that has an offensive coach, don't be surprised if he doesn't impress you most. Now, Bo Nix is more athletic than anybody will ever give him credit for, but have you seen growth with Bo Nix and Sean Payton?
Yeah, and I think you're seeing something similar, and I think it's really important for Nix because Nix is obviously not a power thrower, and one area which he'll continue to need to improve is to make window throws between the numbers versus zone coverage. That's an area in which the NFL demands that you make those kinds of throws. And there are times where he's just a beat late with what I call elimination and isolation, meaning eliminating the throw that's not there and then isolating the throw that is there within the timing and structure of the play design. So these are areas he needs to. But Sean Payton, again, he's kind of controlling him, keeping the reins on. You're right. He's far more athletic than people give him credit for. And this is a way he's going to get comfortable. Now, he hasn't thrown a touchdown. The numbers are not really relevant to me for young quarterbacks. It's how they play the game, what they're asked to do, and can they execute that at an early stage. And I thought that this past week he was a little more in command. And I think that's what you're looking for. And then you expand as the season progresses.
All right, now let's segue into stars. Josh Allen. Joe Brady's arrived. He's been now we know he's great. We know he's great. but he has been not coordinator dependent, but he's a better quarterback when he's more efficient. Because the superstar stuff, the leaping tall buildings, the throw, that's just who he is. He's amazing. But it looks like, I don't know if it's tempo, decision-making, pre-snap, he's more efficient. What's happening in Buffalo?
I think Brady's doing a great job because the one thing about Josh Allen, and we know he's